What if one decision could cost you $80 million overnight? Sounds impossible, right? But in the NBA, it's happened before. And it could happen again this summer. 3 young players are staring at the biggest gamble of their lives, and the scary part? Most who try this never recover. In basketball, contracts are more than money. They're security, respect, and a team's belief in your future. But every once in a while, a player rejects all of that to bet on himself. Instead of locking in years of guaranteed cash, he signs a single one-year deal, hoping to prove he's worth way more. It's rare. From 2017 to 2021, 120 players faced this exact choice. Half signed safe extensions. About a third found new deals elsewhere. 10% washed out of the league completely. And just 4% rolled the dice on themselves. 4%. That's not a strategy, it's a dare. And history shows the house usually wins. The most famous example: Dennis Schröder. In 2021, the Lakers offered him 4 years and $84 million. It was a gift. He was starting next to LeBron and AD on a team fresh off a title. Most players would have signed with both hands, but Schröder thought he was worth even more. He gambled, and then he folded. Hard. The playoffs came, and when LA needed him most, he went 0 for 9 in a crucial Game 5. 0 points. The Lakers were bounced in the first round, and suddenly Schröder's stock collapsed. That $84 million vanished. He ended up in Boston for 1 year, $6 million. From $84 million guaranteed to $6. One cold shooting streak cost him $78 million. Brutal. But as bad as that sounds, someone else managed to lose even more. Back in 2017, Nerlens Noel was a young, athletic big man with a clear future. The Mavericks offered him 4 years, $70 million. Not superstar money, but solid security. Noel looked at that number and laughed. He fired his agent, signed with Rich Paul, and demanded max money. The Mavs were insulted and pulled the offer. Suddenly, that $70 million safety net was gone. He had no choice but to accept a 1-year, $4 million qualifying offer. He bet everything on one season, and then disaster struck. He needed thumb surgery, missed half the year, clashed with coaches, and got benched. His locker room reputation tanked. The following summer, he was begging for minimum deals, from $70 million guaranteed to scraps. He even tried suing Rich Paul, claiming bad advice ruined his career, but the truth? Noel made the call, and he's remembered less for his defense than for fumbling the bag of a lifetime. And if that wasn't enough proof of how cruel this gamble can be, just look at Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas wasn't greedy. He wasn't arrogant. He was just unlucky. In 2017, he was playing like an MVP in Boston. He told reporters they better back up the Brinks truck. And people believed him. Analysts predicted a $200 million Supermax contract. Then came the playoffs, a torn hip labrum. He played through the pain, but his body was never the same. Teams saw damaged goods instead of a superstar. When free agency came, the Brinks truck turned into a rusty pickup. 1 year, $2 million. Isaiah never got that big contract. Not because he fumbled, but because the game can be cruel. His story shows the other nightmare. Sometimes you don't even get the chance to prove yourself before it all falls apart. But not every gamble ends in ruin. There's one man who did it twice and came out a legend. Fred VanVleet's story is the dream every young player is chasing. Back in 2016, teams told him he could be a second-round pick on a weak contract. He said no. Instead, he went undrafted, on purpose. He bet he could earn a roster spot through Summer League and control his destiny. It worked. He signed with Toronto, climbed from the G League to the Raptors rotation, and helped them win a championship. Then came the next gamble. The Raptors wanted him on a team-friendly deal. He refused. Instead, he secured 4 years, $85 million, and just last summer, he doubled down again. Houston gave him a 3-year max contract, from undrafted to max player, because he bet on himself not once but twice. That's the fantasy. That's the blueprint. But for every VanVleet, there are 3 or 4 Schröders. Which brings us to today. This offseason, 3 names keep popping up: Cam Thomas, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Grimes. All 3 have safe offers on the table. All 3 could take guaranteed money now. But reports say they're tempted by the 1-year qualifying offer, the bet on yourself contract. For Cam Thomas, the danger is obvious. Brooklyn just drafted 5 new players, 4 of them ball handlers like him. Minutes will be tight. If he struggles or gets buried on the bench, his stock crashes. Jonathan Kuminga wants a bigger role in Golden State. The Warriors offered 2 years, $45 million, but with a team option. Kuminga wants control. He's leaning toward the qualifying offer, but that means gambling his entire future on 1 season. If Steve Kerr doesn't unleash him, or if injuries hit, he could be the next Isaiah Thomas story. Quentin Grimes is the quiet one here. He's got the chance to lock in a safe, team-friendly deal. But if Kuminga gambles, Grimes might take the opposite route, grab security before the market gets flooded, because if too many players bet on themselves at once, only a couple actually cash out. The stakes are higher than ever, and the reason isn't just ego, it's the new rules of the game. Under the old system, solid role players were pulling in $20 to $25 million per year with ease. Stretch 4s, 6th men, even specialists were cashing in. But the new CBA changed everything. Teams are cautious. Mid-tier players aren't getting overpaid anymore. PJ Washington is proof. A few years ago, his numbers, 15 points, 6 rebounds, solid defense, would have made him a $100 million man. Instead, he got $90 million over 3 years. Security, yes, but not a jackpot. So why would anyone bet on themselves now? Because in a couple of years, the NBA's $75 billion media rights deal kicks in. That means way more money flowing into the salary cap. Players know the gold rush is coming. They just have to survive until then. The problem? Some can't accept reality. They see the future payday, but they don't realize how many careers crash before that moment ever arrives. And if you think gambling on yourself is risky, imagine giving up the game completely. That's what might be happening with Ben Simmons. Reports say he's even considering retirement. The Knicks made him an offer. He said no, as if he's holding out for something bigger. But sources say the truth is darker. Not about money, not about ego, something else entirely. And it's the real reason he may walk away from basketball for good. Betting on yourself in the NBA is like playing with fire. For every Fred VanVleet, there's a Dennis Schröder, a Nerlens Noel, or an Isaiah Thomas. Some win big, most get burned. And with Cam Thomas, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Grimes all standing at the edge of that cliff this summer, we're about to find out who cashes in and who becomes the next cautionary tale. Because the question isn't if someone will fumble the bag this year, it's who.